To Yemen, where security has been stepped up around the presidential palace after clashes between soldiers and Houthis. We're getting reports of at least one dead. The rebels overran the capital Sana'a last year before signing a UN-backed deal, but they've expanded their presence, and this Monday they seized control of state media. The information minister saying today's attacks amount to an attempted coup. Also, the Prime Minister's convoy came under fire. No reports of injuries. I spoke to Douglas Herbert, our international affairs editor, about these attacks, the most serious challenges to the government for months.
The images and the reports we're receiving from the scene, to call it a coup doesn't seem too much of an attempted coup at this point, doesn't seem too much of a stretch when you have an aide to the president and the prime minister's convoy fired upon. We still need to get confirmation of details, but what we can definitely say is the instability that has been dogging, and that is the word to use, Yemen, really over the past decade, but perhaps, most forcefully since 2011 and the popular uprising that you may remember ousted the now former president, Ali Saleh, at the time. Yemen has never been a bastion of stability since then. It has been really punctuated by periods of unrest. And as you've really pointed out, it's gotten worse. It's been sort of building to a crescendo in recent months. Now, the Houthis, and basically they belong to a branch of Shia Islam. It's a branch that you really only see in Yemen. You don't see it in Iraq as much, or Iran, or in Lebanon. They're very much exclusive to Yemen. They have been encroaching on, well, first the capital, September 21st. They seized the capital, have essentially been calling the shots in Sana'a, the Yemenis capital, since September. But also, it was part of an advance across the country. They have been taking control of various parts of the country. So the government right now of President Hadi is not really, is a government in many respects in name only, in the sense that vast swathes of their country are really out of their control. And you have really battles going on all these fronts, because while I said that Yemen has been dogged by instability, it is not simply the government versus the Houthis. It's also al-Qaeda. Let's not forget, Yemen, often when we speak about it here on the air, we're talking about it in the context of it being home to al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, perhaps the world's most dangerous terrorist group, according to Europe, according to the U.S., on all the terror blacklists. And also, that's the reason for which Yemen is often talked about in terms of being the target of drone strikes, notably U.S. drone strikes trying to go after those al-Qaeda suspected fighters. So it's wherever you look right now in Yemen, whether you're looking at the Houthis, al-Qaeda, it is extremely unstable. This government is really hanging on by a thread, if you want to say that. And in the next hours, it will be interesting to see the dynamic that this thing takes, whether or not it does shape up to be a full-fledged coup.